Hey, it's your girl KV coming at you with a review, a movie review, y'all. Have I ever done a movie review? This might be the first. Starting off 2025 with a little something new. This is Sugar Mama on Tubi. And apparently the movie was like brand spanking new when I watched it. Because when I just looked it up, it says it came out in 2025. And we are within the first week of 2025. So here we are. Why is my hair laying so weird? I don't know. Need to be washed. Um, Sugar Mama. So the main character is this lady named Veronica. I think it's Veronica King. We see her at the beginning of the movie. She's sitting there at an accident and she's crying in the back of an ambulance while we see like a wreckage of a car wreck. That's all we get from there. We don't know who was in the car wreck. We don't know if she was in it too. We don't know nothing. Did somebody pass? We just see that there was a car wreck and she out there looking like, oh no, my love. Okay. So next we see her going to this college to do a seminar. She's like a financer. She works in app development. So she's doing a seminar in this class and this guy comes in late. After class, he comes up to apologize to her for being late. Oh, I'm a fan. I know all about, the apps that you invest in. I have an app myself. I'm sorry for coming in late. Are you doing any mentorship? She's like, no, I ain't doing no mentorship, but, good luck to you, Mr. Sir, right? This is kind of low, huh? Good luck to you, Mr. Sir. And she goes on about her day. Why is this thing always crooked? It feels like it never quite can get centered and balanced. Like, is the stuff on the wall crooked or is it my phone? I think it's my phone. Because when I'm looking at the wall, it don't look crooked, but when I look at the phone, it look crooked. Anywho, no mentorship for you, but wishes him well, right? So we see her later on. I guess she's leaving the college and we see this lady and these two guys like helping her down off the curb and just doing the most. So she walks over to the lady and just straight up asks her like, girl, what's up with that? You got two little boys with you? She lets her know, yes, girl, these my babies. I'm a sugar mama. I go on the app, I find them. This is what I need in my life at my age. I don't want to be dating. I just need a little companionship, okay? So that interests Veronica and she looks up the app. Right? She looks up the app and she talks into her assistant. Her assistant was like, what you gonna do on that app? She like, no, I'm trying to look at it for investment purposes, look it up, find me some numbers, yada, yada, yada. So she ends up downloading the app and sees that Mike, that's the guy from the classroom, Mike is on the app. So of course they match. And he's like, oh, okay, looks like we interested in the same thing. Now, mind you, we saw Mike's intro story. He is a sugar baby. His current sugar mama just ditched him because he ain't been giving her enough attention. And come to find out, he got a girlfriend. She was hiding in the back like, do you think she found out about me? They are pimping him out, basically, to pay for their college tuition. I said, y'all can't go get regular jobs, but she's pimping him out with these stipulations. I suppose he's not supposed to sleep with nobody. We see that later on in the movie. She expects him not to sleep with nobody and not to spend like an exorbitant amount of time with these women that are paying him thousands of dollars. Okay, so he in need of a new sugar mama. So he like, man, this could be perfect for my career and for my funds, right? So they link up and she lets him know that she's not looking for the typical sugar baby, sugar mama relationship. She's just trying to find out about this app, so she needs him at her disposal because she needs to find out anything and everything from somebody who has firsthand user experience on this app. I said, okay, girl. All right. And so she takes him to the little event. He gets to mixing and mingling with people. She kind of lets him pitch to another app investor. And she just abruptly cut him off at one point. Like, okay, that's enough. Type to go give me a drink. I was like, dang, dang, like, okay. But we see that she is in therapy. Find out that she lost her husband to a car accident some years back. In order for the son to cope, he travels. He travels. Oh, he's on one of those, ABC trips, where they go to the place by the alphabet. Yeah, I think he's in Dubai this week. These kids and their coping mechanisms. I was like, okay, okay. Yeah, the son is gone, and she be missing the son. So I'm like, dang, I guess he don't have much of a relationship with her at all, because we see her at the house. She's talking to what I first thought, okay, must be her boyfriend. It must be her boyfriend, right? And she's talking to him on the phone. He just reminds me so much of Jason. Yeah, He's like, you sure you want to be doing this mentor thing? I just want to help kids get Jason's age. It's just, yeah, it's giving weird. It's giving weird. And just how he's addressing her, and how he's like so gentle about, well, are you sure you want to do that? Because last time X, Y, and Z. And she's just like, yeah, yeah, for Jason. For Jason. I was like, it's getting weird. But I still gonna get this watch. It's getting weird, right? So like I said, she meets up with Michael, gives him the stipulation. She asked him what his fee was. I'm gonna need you for 3 months. He said 10,000. She said 10,000. I thought she would have been more expensive than that. I said the same thing. 10,000, boy, that's a regular job. You can go work a couple regular jobs if you try to make $10,000 in a quarter. Like, dude, y'all can both be working in Walmart to get $10,000 in some months. Like, what? He's over 10,000, but he's of course looking like, dang, like he regrets it once she says that she thought it would be more. So he, she takes him to buy some suits and everything, because he's going to accompany her to the party. That's where he was pitching his ideas. She was letting him mix and mingle. But at the beginning of them getting to this party, there's an incident at the door. She only has a +1. She can't bring 2. So the assistant is like, yeah, girl, when you had me call and book this, it was just me and you. You ain't tell me for 3. So she sends him on home. Well, think of it as a paid night off, okay? Go along. But mind you, the guy who is the assistant, this is his world. He want to have the apps, and he thinking he next in line when it comes to her. So it's already given. It's gonna be some rage going on between Andrew. I think his name was Andrew, and Mike. So like I said, she lets him go to the event. He's pitching, the idea. When they went for the suits, and I thought that this was gonna get him caught. Like, I guess they just kind of put this in there to show that he really does care about his girlfriend Gia, but it was such an unnecessary scene. But they were in the store, they're getting the suits, and she's like, oh, I'm gonna wait outside or something like that. And as he's checking out, because I guess she didn't give her card yet, he sees this necklace that he thinks would be great for his girlfriend and gets it on Veronica's card. What? So takes it home, gives it to Gia. She's feeling uneasy about, like, why you giving me stuff that you done bought with that lady money? Like, that don't feel weird to you? And he's just like, girl, you know what it is. You know what it is. She trying to pick out a tux for him to wear. He like, well, actually, I'm gonna wear this one because, this the one Veronica like, okay? She looking like she feel away like, oh, okay. You gonna wear the one Veronica like? Yeah, girl. She paying for this night. He gonna wear the one she like. Okay. So they're at the little event. He see his old sugar mama. The old sugar mama was kind of like flirting, like, yeah, I might want you back and stuff. Veronica was like, girl, ain't nobody teach you to keep your hands to yourself. They about to get into an argument, but he's like, it ain't gotta be all that. That's my old sugar mama, but that's done. I'm here for you now, right? She ends up like crying on his chest about something. I can't even remember what it was, but she ends up crying on his chest, and he's like, Veronica, everybody's looking at us. You're doing too much, boo-boo. And she ends up asking him to come home with her. Now, like everybody's thinking, oh, okay, she's feeling all vulnerable. She might let him, crack her back a couple times, make her scream a little bit. I bet the neighbors know his name, his name, his name. But no, they get to the house. She tells him, this is your room. This is my room. And hands him some clothes, right? And he thinking like we all thinking. He goes in trying to kiss her. She slaps him. What's wrong with you, Jason? Don't you ever disrespect me like that. And he's like, okay, my man. I thought that that's what you was doing, girl. You invited me back to the house. Like, what am I here for if not for that? But okay, girl. Okay. And then he realizes like, oh, this lady got a mom kink or something. But she truly does not want to sleep with him in any type of way. She is really like this her son. Real crazy, right? Real crazy, real weird. So he tells his girlfriend Gia about the happenings, and Gia is like, no, you weren't supposed to stay out last night, and this is getting weird. He's like, listen, she's paying the money for us to get our tuition paid. So what choice do we really have right now? And I ain't even gotta sleep with her. I figured you'd like that. If I ain't gotta sleep with her, she ain't trying to press me or nothing. If she get off on acting like my mama, so be it. You know what I mean? So we see his old sugar mama. Somebody comes in while she's in the tub and stabs her. And then we see him wake up. So we like, huh, was it a nightmare? Maybe it was a nightmare. They don't really get into it immediately, right? So he's walking around because, like I said, he's sleeping at this lady's house, and she put him in a whole nother room because she just trying to be this man's mama. He walking around, and the first time he walked through, he saw a room that kind of was peculiar. The room she was sitting in with all the little airplanes and stuff like that. And also he heard a noise in the basement. But it's dark. He ain't finna go wandering through this lady house on night one. So he goes back to his room. She's sitting there just waiting on her. What are you doing? What are you doing, Michael? And she starts calling him Mikey at some point, which I'm like, baby, that would have been red flags for me. Don't nickname me. Don't nickname me if we ain't like that, okay? So when he goes back to bed, she's in the room and she's like, want me to read you a nighttime story? Like, what you want to read before bed? You need some hot milk? Do I need to burp you? Like, she's doing the absolute most. Then she goes over in the corner to sit and watch him sleep. Y'all. He's a little freaked out by it, but he's just like, tuition's getting paid. I'm not getting laid. Fine by me. G is gonna be good, right? So we see that there is somebody watching them. There's this girl in the bushes that is watching them. We're like, who is this person that's watching them, right? Who is it? Who is it? I'm waiting for this commercial to go off so I can remember what happened next. Oh, let's talk about the therapist. Like I said, she's in therapy. The therapist is a Black lady. That bothered me when we get to a point later on, but we'll get to that point later on. The therapist, she just, she wants her to be wise about these situations and stuff like that. Yeah, okay, you're not dating, your son's traveling, do you plan to travel with him one day? Yada, yada, yada. Oh, maybe, but I just let him have his thing. So the next morning, everybody wakes up. When Michael gets up, the doctor friend is there. I can't remember what his name is to save my life. But Veronica's friend is there, and she leaves them two at the table. He's asking some questions, how long you and Veronica knew each other? 20 years, She was a little skittish for a while, but she's, it's her first time having somebody over in a while. She cooked breakfast, but he's allergic to dairy, so he can't eat half the stuff. So he just grabbed an apple and about to cut the apple up to eat. As that's going on, her friend, the little doctor man, he's like going in on him, like just kind of asking questions. Oh, so you're a prostitute? Pay for play? Yeah, you're a prostitute. And he ends up kind of, you know how them scenes go, and he ends up cutting his hand. And the friend looks down at the plate of blood like, oh, my precious. Like, he looking at that blood like, ooh, yeah. I'm like, what is about to happen? Veronica scoops Michael up and it's like, oh, I got a first aid kit over here. Let's go tend to your cut. So leaving, crazy doctor man with his blood on his plate, looking all lovingly and stuff, right? So as Michael is getting up to move around the house and stuff, he sees a picture that must be her son Jason, and he is wearing the same shirt in that picture. So he's looking like, what? How, what you mean? That right there, that right there should have been your indication to run, baby. Run. Invasion of the Body Snatchers, okay, is giving weird AF. And he's just like, okay, tuition's getting paid. Like, doop doop to do. Like, no. No doop doop to do, sir. No doop doop to do. So at this point, Veronica is spending all this time with Michael. She comes up to the school. He's like, oh, I'm headed to class. He's with Gia. He's like, oh, this is my friend. She's like, yeah, but let's go get some ice cream. I'm going to take you to get some ice cream. He's like 20 years old, girl. He's trying to go to get some ice cream when he's supposed to be in class. Like, let that boy go. Then at some point she's like, I got a surprise for you. She done bought this boy a car because she had to make up for turning down this internship on his behalf. He like, girl, you ain't trying to mentor me. I get an internship offer with somebody else and you gonna turn it down? Like, what's wrong with you? So she ended up getting him a car to make up for it. And I'm like, he takes the car, of course, because why wouldn't he? He is in this for the money and he needs this money. I need this money. And then we see the girl that's been stalking all of them comes up to Gia to tell her why she been stalking her. She's like, listen, I see that your dude been with Veronica, and let me tell you something. Veronica crazy, and y'all might want to get out of Dodge because she crazy. She killed my sister with her husband. They was in a car accident. I already knew that my sister was having an affair with him. She was his publicist. They end up dying in this accident, and I know it was Veronica. Gia is listening to it. She's asking questions. She's suspicious as she should be, not just readily listening or not just writing her off as some crazy lady. When she gets home, she researches it and sees indeed that Veronica's husband died in a one automobile accident with that publicist lady in the passenger seat. Right? So, yes, honey. As she is researching it, she gets a text from Michael saying, meet me on campus tonight. I gotta show you something. And I'm like, why would they meet on campus in the dark? Y'all live together. Come home with the car and tell her to come outside. Like, what? We see that it's a setup. When she gets there, she's standing in the outside in the open. It's semi-dark. Somebody comes out of nowhere and beats her up. When I say beats her up, beat the girl up. Something bad. I said, dang. Beat her up. She goes to the hospital, right? So next we see, what's next? Did Andrew attack him next? Veronica and Mike, they at the house, they kicking it. She puts him in her son's room. She puts him in the room, y'all. And he looking around like, what? How weird. Okay. And then they end up going to a meeting together where the assistant, Andrew, gets jealous. And in a fit of rage, he jumps on him and beats him up. Put that boy in the hospital, right? So he in the hospital, and at this point, he's over Veronica. He ain't really trying to hear nothing she's trying to say. The doctor comes in, and it's her doctor friend. I said, no, something in the milk ain't clean, y'all. I knew there was gonna be something up at that point, cause like, what? They walk in there and they tell him something's wrong with Gia. Something happened to Gia. She in the hospital too. He runs around to go see her. Now, mind you, somebody had been hacking into their phones to text them as each other when it wasn't them. They text her as Mike saying, come meet me when they beat her up. And then later on, they text him as her saying, you left me out here. Don't ever talk to me again. Get your stuff out of my house. You can't live here no more. So he thinking, I'm going to have to live with Veronica. So he didn't already agree to live with Veronica at this point. But he goes over there. He sees Gia. He's like, I thought you wouldn't want to see me after what you said. She's like, what I said, well, I ain't text you. And they're like, okay, well, that don't matter. Let's get to, yes, that matters. It matters. He has zero deductive reasoning skills, and I get that it's a movie, and we have to let things play out. We can't have him too smart and aware, but it's painful how he has no awareness of these situations that he's in. So he's in there cuddled up with Gia. So sad that this happened to her. Yada yada yada. Veronica walks over and like, visiting hours are over. She calls the nurse in to kick him out so that they can go back home. Okay? When they get back home, she drugs him. She drugged him, right? At some point, she drugged him or something of that nature, and ends up putting him in the basement. No, she ends up locking him in the room the first go around. And then she brings the doctor friend over there to talk to him and, try to talk some sense to him about all of what's going on and what's going on with Gia, what's going on with this. But that's when she locks him in the room, right? So when she goes in there to feed him, he's like, oh, Mom, can you feed it to me, Mom? Feed it to me, Mom. And ends up knocking her out and getting the keys and all that stuff like that. But that might happen after this, because when they first let him out the room, they told him, it's Gia, we gotta tell you something. And they gave him her bag of stuff because Gia done passed away. He's losing it. He's losing it at this point because he don't know what to think. He had went home. He had saw that Gia had been looking up the husband, and he had went to visit Andrew in jail because Andrew had been calling him, and so he goes to see Andrew, and Andrew lets him know, she paid me to do that. She told me to rough you up. She told me to make sure you get in the hospital. She made me do that. She told me to do that. First, he not really paying no attention to it. He don't think the boy telling the truth, but eventually he realized, okay, she crazy. She did cause that accident. He is telling the truth, right? So, y'all, we see the flashback of the accident and what really happened. So the dad's at the house, him and the publicist / mistress about to leave and go somewhere. The son is at the top of the stairs and he's just looking like he's sad. He want to go with him. The lady ends up telling him, hey, let's just let him go with us, but he won't have to be suspicious. He won't ask no questions. It'll make him happy. Like, let's just act like we ain't together tonight, right? So they let the son come, and I said, oh, yikes, we see where this is going, right? We see where this is going. And so earlier in the movie, when Michael asked her, hey, let me see some pictures of your son. You got a recent picture? She hands him these postcards, which was the stupidest thing ever. Well, I don't have any pictures, but I have these postcards that he's written me. And he looks at the postcard, no return address. No return address, no postmark stamps or nothing. It's like, girl, you literally writing these postcards and placing them in your mailbox so you can feel like they came to you. Insane, right? Back to the accident night. We see her cutting the brake line. She see that her husband had got a text from the lady Carla that's supposed to be the publicist. She's saying, I miss you, all of that, right? So he I miss you. She sees it. She ends up cutting his brake line, y'all. So now they're all in the car together. Him, the husband, the mistress, and the son. They get into a car accident, hit a tree. Husband seems like he died off of impact. The mistress is like crawling through the woods trying to get to safety, right? She's out there to make sure that the job is done. She smothers the girl, puts her hand over her mouth, finishes her on off, goes to the car to make sure that the husband is finished off as well. He is. And then she hears somebody struggling for breath in the back seat. It's her son. This lady is not the best actress because the nonchalantness in her face as she realizes her son is in the back seat was just like, it wasn't given, oh my God, I tried to kill my husband. I would probably not kill my son. It wasn't given that. It wasn't. But, we move on. We move on. We just see her like, oh, oh, with the sun or whatever. I'm like, yeah, she done tried to do some weird sciencey stuff to get this baby back alive, and that baby gonna be deformed in that basement. That was my thoughts. I said this baby gonna be deformed or vegetable in this basement, y'all. I wasn't too far off. So, like I said, this is where she ends up capturing him because he's driving around in the car that she got him. And she pops up in the back seat. And he's like, what are you doing here? She's like, I got you the damn car. You ain't think I was going to track it? I'm like, exactly. She jabs him in the neck, knocks him out, takes him on. This is where she had him tied up in the basement. While she has him tied up in the basement, she has the therapist over for a session. This is where the therapist, somebody died because you was negligent. You didn't report what you saw and heard. Pissed me off. You're a black woman. So the therapist is leaving and she hears boom, 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 boom. Because he hears voices. That's what I'm like. If he can hear y'all, y'all can hear him. I hate when this type of dumb stuff be going on. So he can hear some faint voices off in the distant. So he starts yelling, help, help, help. And he starts banging on the walls and stuff like that. The therapist hears it and she's like, well, I gotta be going. Yeah, going to call the police. Girl, what? Just absolutely insane, okay? Absolutely insane. So the therapist leaves. She goes to give him some food. And he's like, girl, let me go. And she's just like, I need you. You're my baby. I need you, Jason. And then this is when he was doing the manipulation like, Mom, okay, Mom, come feed me, Mom. I do need you, Mom. I need you, Mom. And knocks her out as she's feeding him. And, well, no. He had knocked her out earlier. But this is where she knocked him out because she put something in the food. He wakes up, they in the bed. She just kind of looking like, what? I got it all mixed up. This is where he knocks her out the next day. Takes the keys, runs around the house trying to get out, does not get out until he goes down to the basement. Because she got like padlocks like on all the doors. So even on the front door, the windows and stuff, he can't get through. So he goes down to the basement because he remember, okay, well, something was going on in the basement. And plus, you know, might be an exit. He gets down there. Baby, it's a young man about his same age hooked up to some machines. He sees some paperwork where it's Jason and his blood type is O negative and he was on continued life support because he is in a vegetative state following the car accident. So this is him, like, I guess this is him putting the dots together like, man, what is going on? This lady is crazy. She didn't say nothing about the son being in a car accident. None of the reports said nothing about the son. Like, what's going on? He's trying to run up out of there. He sees a dead body. It's the girl that was warning Gia that was stalking all of them. So at this point, he finds an exit and runs out. As he's walking out, the doctor guy is pulling up. Baby, you just left the basement where it clearly looks like a doctor have had to set this up to keep this man on life support, right? If he's in the basement and she don't know about it, right? Here's this doctor friend of hers that has known her for 20 years. And you're going to run up to him like, it's Veronica. Shit's crazy. We got to get out of here. We got to call somebody. Baby, I would have zigzagged in the woods so he didn't run me over so fast because in what world would you not think that he would be in on it too if it's been 20 years? So he knocks him out, takes him on in the house. He wakes up. He is laying there next to Jason with a hospital gown on. And she's just like, I need you. I need your heart. Yeah, I need your heart. And they go back through the whole thing of, he's like, because she said, I knew that you were O negative. When he was at the little event with her and he was showing the person his health app, he was like, yeah, so you can just plug in what your blood type is. It'll give you a recommendation. For me, you know, O negative and I'm allergic to berries, so this and that. Shows how that piqued her interest. It shows where when he was at the table and he cut his finger, the doctor came and used his little syringe to get the blood. It shows where he's thinking back to talking to Andrew at jail, and Andrew was like, she paid me to do that. Like, she wanted you to be in the hospital. I didn't know what for. I just was like, okay, shoot. So it's all adding up to where he's realizing they have been plotting on him since the beginning. Since the beginning. And I'm like, yeah. Yeah. And so, like I said, they are laid up, and we just see them explaining everything to him. They standing over him. He's strapped down, of course. And they let him know, yeah, Jason need a heart. And you got one. And you O negative. Perfection. Okay? Perfection. I said, and now Gia gone, so he ain't got Gia looking for him, and don't seem like he had much family, no way. And girl, we just see them put the gas mask on his face, and he freaking out. And the wildest part of all of this, y'all wanna know what that is for me? The next scene is the therapist back at her house after you heard somebody banging around in the basement. Baby, stop playing with me. Don't piss me off, okay? Because there's no way that you was in her house last time for a session, you hear somebody banging around, screaming in the basement. You not only do not report it, you keep her on as a client, and you go back to her house for another session. Then when they're there, we see this young man walk in with a cane, and it's Jason. It's Jason, y'all. The surgery was a success, and Michael is somewhere gone. Michael is somewhere unalived, okay? He gone, and Jason got his heart. And the therapist is just like, oh, you guys are finally going to take that trip together, huh? How beautiful. And I'm like, lady, your license should be taken. Because there's certain things you're supposed to report, right? When some people are in imminent danger to themselves or others. And that would be a situation where you would make a wellness call. You call the cops and you say, hey, I was just over there. I know this person. She don't ever suddenly seem crazy, but it was some noises going on from the basement. So you might want to do a wellness check over there. But no, y'all, that is not how that went at all. This movie, it was a good movie, but it was a little annoying in that, like, people wasn't using their thinkers, okay? The only people that was out here thinking was Gia. And you see she gone. Gia got, okay? They got Gia. I forgot to mention that. They went in there and, what they do? They put something in her IV? I think they put something in her little IV bag. But yeah, they took Gia out while she was in the hospital, y'all. So the movie was interesting. The movie was definitely different than I thought it would be. I did enjoy it, although there were some parts where I'm like, this ain't even believable. Like, why is you playing with us? Why? But yeah, like the video. Make sure y'all thumbs up me. Comment. Let me know if y'all plan to watch the video. If y'all have watched the movie, what y'all thought about the movie. If you like, girl, I don't watch no Tubi. Because that's me. I'm not really a Tubi girl. I just really got into Tubi a couple of weeks ago. I only really use Tubi for watching old Degrassi reruns and stuff like that, like the little the old stuff that Tubi had on there. But just recently, I've been seeing all these recommendations for movies popping up on my Facebook, so I'm like, let's give it a go. Some of these Tubi movies don't look real bad. It look like the old like BET nighttime movies where it's like we can't afford a slot, but we still want y'all to see this movie. So I've been watching it. I've been enjoying some of these movies on Tubi, y'all. I really have. So yeah, we might have to add in some little movie reviews every now and again when I watch something that's interesting and worth reviewing. But like I said, like the video, comment, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and help me out. Grow this channel, y'all. I don't know how I'm still sitting at these little bitty pieces of subscribers for as long as I've been doing this. It's kind of like heartbreaking. But 2025 is the year. Y'all gonna get me there. I'm gonna get me there, and y'all gonna get me there. All right. Bye, y'all.